Hey everyone, it's Cody. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. We're going to be talking about the real estate market here in St. George. As we come out of the winter months and move into spring, there's a lot of different things that I want to cover here in this video. We're going to talk about interest rates, the stock market, where home prices have been, as well as where they're going into the future. We're going to cover a lot of information here, so I want to welcome you back to another video. I know it's been a minute since we've done videos like this. I've been extremely busy and have just fallen behind on getting these videos out. So we're going to be here catching up and getting you more videos. As always, guys, if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate here in Utah, please reach out to me. Call, text, or email anytime. I love hearing from you guys. And with that said, let's jump into my screen here and take a look at the market. So we're going to start off with looking at 30-year fixed rate mortgages. If you take a look at this information, you're going to see the interest rates climbed very, very high back in October. We've talked about this here before on the channel. We hit almost 8%. Since then, we came down to about 6.5% going into December. So we saw a pretty steep drop from October at 8% down to 6.5% by December. And now they've actually climbed back up, right? In February, we're sitting at 7%, and now they're kind of down, then up, then down, then up, right? It kind of is this, cycle where we see these interest rates fluctuate from time to time. The interesting thing here is that this blue line is increasing, which is a survey of private lenders and banks across the market. They're saying the interest rates are actually climbing, whereas this orange line is actually Freddie Mac, which is one of the government-backed lenders, which is actually decreasing. So you can see that, these lines don't always move in the same direction on the same days, but generally they're kind of going in that same direction. Sometimes there's a pretty big divergence, right? Right here we are at 7.04% for Mortgage News Daily, whereas if we come down over here, let's see if we can get this line to move over. We were sitting at roughly, it's not going to move over for me, but we're at roughly 6.6%. So a 0.4% difference in interest rates during this time between the two services. So it's actually really interesting to see that these lines are now diverging like they are. We'll see them probably come back together, but seeing the interest rates at 7% is something that you have to keep an eye on. If you're looking at buying a property or selling a property going into the spring or summer months, these are the things that you're going to want to follow because it's really going to affect the demand that we're seeing in the market. We're going to talk about that here more in just a minute and how we actually see the effects of higher interest rates that are climbing actually put downward pressure on the number of sales and pricing that we're seeing in the market. So with that said, let's take a look at FHA loans, jumbo loans, and VA loans really quick as well. This is going to be our chart for the FHA loans, again sitting at about 6.5%. VA loans are going to be roughly the same. Let's zoom in here. 6.5% on VA loans, and then jumbo loans are going to be sitting at roughly the low 7% range. Usually we see a bigger range between conventional loans and jumbo loans, but right now seeing the interest rates for conventional loans are roughly around 7%, just under that number, and seeing that jumbo loans are just above that number is actually quite interesting. This shows that there's a lot of strength among private lenders and banks, and they have confidence in the market, and they're willing to offer a little bit lower rate on these higher end loans. So if you're looking at a jumbo loan, now the pricing is actually quite favorable compared to what that spread usually is between a conventional loan and a jumbo loan. So just keep that in mind, especially if you're shopping at the higher price points. Now, the other thing worth mentioning as we take a look at home sales and what's happening out there in the market is that the stock market is at an all-time high. People have tons of confidence in where the economy is headed. Inflation has cooled, although it is still quite high and it's above the mark that we want to see at the federal level. Inflation is still quite high compared to what it is in the past and what they want to see year over year. However, the stock market is showing extreme confidence in, just across the board, right? The S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the QQQ, all of these things are at all-time highs, and it's pretty interesting to see that this continues to happen despite everybody thinking, hey, is the recession coming? Is the market crash coming? Is our home price is going to crash? Are rates going to go to 10%? Are rates going to come down to 5%? Everybody's making predictions, and the matter of the fact is nobody really knows, right? Even me talking about it here on this video, I'm not going to be the one to say, oh, interest rates are coming down to 5% or interest rates are going to 10%. We're in a bubble and things are really, really bad and it's just not being realized. I'm not going to say that. My personal opinion, I think that interest rates will probably stay where they're at or come down just slightly over the next couple of months going into the election at the end of the year. Some people are very optimistic and think that they'll come down, quite a bit, maybe 1 to 3 percentage points even I've seen. Other people are thinking, yeah, interest rates are still going to 10%. We need to have a market crash in order for everything to reset. And I don't know. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. You can make up your own opinion based off this information, but I'm just kind of sharing with you what I'm seeing out there in the market every day, looking at homes, looking at buying homes, selling homes, working with clients, working with investors, and just talking to all these different people every single day. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm somewhere in the middle. I think that, we're not in a terrible position, but we're also not in the best position either. So let's take a look at home prices here. We're going to take a look at market data. If you've seen any of my videos before, you'll see that this looks very, very familiar. I use this graph here or this data set on all of my videos just because I think it gives a good understanding of what's happening in the market. So for the month of February, based on this is just from utahrealestate.com. We have 124 home sales. We had a median listing price at $534,500 with sales prices at $513. Now you can see this is actually down substantially from what we saw in December and January, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there was a drastic drop in the market. It's really hard to determine what prices are doing just based on only having roughly 100 to 150 home sales each month. You can see that we've only got a limited data set here, and it does fluctuate from month to month quite a bit. So you kind of have to look at a wider range to get a full sense of what's happening in the market. If we go back to the summer months, July of 2023, we're actually at 490. We at 495, 550, 495, right? So you can kind of assume, okay, the median sales price is probably around that high 400 mark or low 500 mark in reality, based on the September being at 550 right here. Then we are 535, 575, 575 again in January, and now 513. So we've actually seen prices increase. This is again not surprising because the winter months in St. George are extremely nice. The weather is very mild. This does give the opportunity where a lot of people make the move to St. George to get out of the snow, especially anybody coming from the northern states where it's cold, it's snowing. People want to come down south. They want to spend time in St. George, and they choose to do so during the winter and the spring months. So the market is really starting to heat up. We're starting to see more and more home sales. We're already at 77 for the month of March, and by the end of the month, we're definitely going to be hitting over 200 on this data set here, right? And that's pretty typical for the month of March. Last year, March, we were at 185. We did drop, and then we were at 202 in May. So again, just looking at this information, I do expect the number of home sales to increase during this time. I do expect prices to increase during this time because there's just more demand out there in the market, and also because there's more people looking to list their home. There's a lot of people sitting on the sidelines right now who want to purchase a home. They've just been waiting for interest rates to kind of get in the range that they want, which hopefully they come down just a little bit to motivate those buyers. And also they've been waiting for the right home to pop up on the market so that they can pull the trigger on something. I've got a lot of personal clients who are looking right now who are saying, look, there's just really not much out there for me to be able to look at, to buy, that I'm really interested in. Everything seems expensive, and the things that are out there, the homes that are out there, seem to be a little bit overpriced for what you actually get. So with that being said, guys, this covers the market. I hope that you found this video interesting and helpful. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, before you go, please reach out to me, call, text, or email anytime. I absolutely love hearing from you guys and cannot wait to hear from you about your own individual situation and how I can help make that buy or that sell a reality for you here in the St. George market. With that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.